Hey guys, it's Mike with another Guild Guardians Spotlight video. Today we're highlighting Balor. He is an epic character and he's a Gen 1, so available through Token Trove for purchase. Potentially he could come back to the Altar of Sacrifice as the Gen 1 character as some sort of event. So Balor is a Cinder Agility Imperial Assassin. So again, Assassin's pretty squishy, but they do a lot of damage. So ideally, you know, he can make it through the waves and so forth and create a little extra damage for your team. Let's take a quick peek at his gear. We've got him in our primary stats with attack. I like the new graphics they put on these where this kind of highlights the main stat versus secondary stats, and then that the gold is kind of highlighted there, whereas if you have one that's in an epic category, it shows as purple. It's a little more apparent as far as the gear that you have. Got the 12% here, 15%. I actually have some pretty good gear on this account, doing pretty well. So this is the main account, so this one here is kind of garbage. I'm working on a new piece, actually, trying to get some crit rate on it as well. Ideally Hydrus, because usually it's my Darizda that's utilizing this gear, so kind of interesting. But anyway, no crit rate there. I think we have some crit rate on the helmet, and that's about it with attack boots. So that's going to highlight his skills. If we jump into his ultimate ability, it's a single target. It's Ruse. Switch to a melee basic attack, teleport behind the enemy with the highest attack, and inflict overconfident. 40% increased chance to receive critical hits for 15 seconds. So it looks like he's going to do damage here. I'm assuming he's going to hit him, but he's really putting this overconfident where they're going to have an increased chance, 70% when he's maxed out, that the attacks they receive will be critical. So that's kind of interesting. I'd be happy if this accompanied like a 200% of attack or something like that, where it tells us how hard he's going to be hitting that enemy. His secondary ability is a flash bomb. It's also single target. Becomes invisible to enemies. While invisible, the damage dealt by the next attack is increased by 100%. So that's kind of dangerous. Invisibility ends after the attack, but Balor gains 100% increased attack speed for 6 seconds. So when he becomes invisible to enemies, while invisible, the damage dealt by the next attack is increased by 100%. So when he comes out of invisibility, the next attack is going to be twice as hard, which is pretty dangerous for an assassin. That's going to be probably pretty hard to keep him alive. And then his passive is evasive, receive 30% less single target damage, and then that levels up to 50%. So as long as somebody's hitting him with single target, not AoE damage, it'll be 50% of that, which is pretty good. So overall, kind of an interesting kit. We got him up at 650,000, which is right where we want to be. So we're going to take him into the Great Forge and see how he does. All right, so we're on into that first room. We got Balor up front. He is an assassin, so he'd probably be in the front row. Unless you're running like a 2-tank setup or something along those lines, he might be in the back row, but he's going to quickly run up to the front. We're going to turn off 2 times and see how he does here. So he did quite a bit of damage with that one hit there. He went after a different target that second time. It's kind of interesting, but 2 enemies are now dead. So we're going to see what's going on. So when he it looks like he did his special ability and it did not do damage. So potentially it just puts on the added percentage chance of receiving critical, which would kind of be pretty unfortunate, to be honest with you. So we're on into that second room. I'm anxious to see when he does that special ability if he's actually doing damage. So here he goes. He's going to go ahead and do his ultimate ability, and I think he actually got interrupted. So that was a one hit. I don't know if that was his ultimate or not, because he got kind of knocked back. So here we go with his ultimate. He went behind him. I didn't see damage come down. Now he one-shot him after that, so maybe he does a little more damage. I'm not sure exactly. Like it didn't look like it was critical because it lights up gold when it's critical. So I'm not sure how that played out. Let's see if we can see it in the next battle. Somehow his kit is very elusive to me. So we are on into that 5th and final room. He has taken a little bit of damage. He is a Cinder, so he's neutral affinity here. I'm really trying to see when and why he's doing the damage he's doing. So that was a crit that he landed right there. He's doing his ultimate ability. I think I saw a little tick of health, but then he basically one-shot somebody. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. It's all congested in here. It's hard to see what's going on. He's taking a stun right now, so that's unfortunate. He still has half health, so he's doing okay. But he's still got all 5 enemies are still alive right now, so that's definitely hurting him a little bit. He's dodging. He may not make it through here. It seems like when he does hit, he hits pretty hard. And I think by giving the added chance of crit, you're going to definitely have the ability to hit harder, and your whole team is going to hit harder. That being said, I think he only killed 1 enemy in that final room. He did take a lot of stuns, which was pretty unfortunate. But to be fair, everybody does. And a lot of people still get through it. So I'm going to say I'm not overly impressed with his kit, although it did look like on a couple occasions he was hitting more than 1 enemy at a time. So switch to melee basic attack, teleport behind the enemy with the highest attack, and inflict overconfident for 15 seconds. So for 15 seconds they are going to be taking more crits. And it's a 70% chance of getting crit hits on those enemies. But theoretically, if you build your team with high crit rate, and I think they're adding different elements in the game to increase crit rate, including guild advantages and stuff like that, then I don't know how effective this really is going to be. On Flash Bomb, it doesn't say anything about doing extra damage. So I think all of his stuff is single target. And he ended up dying with quite a few enemies still left. So overall, I don't think it was a great showing for Balor. I'm trying to think of what a good use case for him would be. Like even with this going to the highest attack, if he's not actually doing any damage with the ability, I don't know there's a huge benefit to that. Because a lot of times your highest attack will be a Drizzt or some sort of sniper in the back row. If you go back there, even if he gets added crits for that, you're going to need somebody with some pretty significant AoE damage to be able to do those crits to actually make that effective. So, no, not overly impressed. But let's jump out into the Token Trove and take a peek at his market. All right, so if we look at the Balor I bought, he was at $59.00065 Ethereum. Frankly, he's probably not even worth that. But he is a new champ, different champ. I always like to play with new champs just to see if there's anybody I am missing out on. If we head out into the market and see what's going on with Balor, he's right about where I purchased him. Maybe I can get a little bit of money back. There are transaction fees both buying and selling, so that's where you got to kind of watch out because those fees will kind of chew you up over time. But quite a few of them in the game, right about probably 1,000 or so. Maybe not quite that many. But you got the Warrior, the Elite. The Elite's going for almost $10 here. Somebody built an 8.3. 2 people did, actually. They want $25 for them. A Warrior 8.3 is $27, so almost the same price. Do have this champion Balor in the game for $220, and there's 4 of them. So there's actually 2 for sale. $220. How much is the other one? $244. So that's pretty aggressive, maybe. I mean, to the right collector, you never know. It just takes one person to be like, I really want a champion Balor, and boom, you're in a good spot. But ultimately, I don't think he has a lot of utility in the game. He's very underwhelming as an assassin. But I think that's what I got for you on Balor. Can't honestly say I'd recommend him for anything. I was trying to put some sort of silver lining on his kit, and he's there. He's a champion. But again, always fun to play with new champions, just see their kits and how they interact with everything else going on in the game. Hopefully you found that interesting. I appreciate you spending the time with me here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.